we can we can edit some of this stuff out, but I think the main idea behind this is to have, like you said, a conversation where we just talk shop and see if there's some common ground that you can share for your audience and then something that perhaps I could share for my audience. I think
Okay.
we can hit this from both sides. Welcome to the Beehive Marketing Podcast. My name is Shane, and today I have a very special guest, Yules. Welcome to the Beehive Podcast.
Hello, guys.
So, Yules, maybe the best place to start is just tell me a little bit about yourself, about the business that you have going, and why in the world are you in the sector that you're in?
Okay, fantastic question. My name is Yules, and I actually started Brilliant Person Career Coaching in November of year 2022. Starting a business was actually never in the forefront. It came because I've been in the industry as a career consultant with career employment support services for 5 years, and I figured, okay, how can I grow my expertise outside of my role and generate more income? And
Right.
so I started as a way for long life learning.
Gotcha.
And then fast forward, it's actually been fantastic. I found out a lot about myself that I didn't know 2 years ago.
Wow. That's cool. That's cool. It's a cool place to be in. So now you are a brilliant person. How does that feel?
Feel that that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Trying to throw you off
It's
a little bit.
interesting because part of our career path journey is all about having confidence in ourselves and the confidence to tell ourselves, wow, I'm a genius.
Right.
I know where my talents are and I know how to market myself.
Right.
And that's half the battle.
Yeah.
So
No, that's good because I think it could come across if you do it poorly, it could come across, oh, this guy thinks he's so smart and he knows everything and all this kind of stuff. But on one hand, I think you kind of have to position yourself like that with integrity that you know what you're talking about because you've been in the trenches and you've gotten bloody and all kinds of stuff and you've crawled out of it and you're like, "Oh, I don't want to do that again. Maybe I can help prevent somebody else from doing that." And I think that authenticity comes out in whatever business that you're doing if you've been through the trenches, if you've had some stories where you're like, oh man, let's just say for example, in your area, like let's say you have a resume and somebody hands in a resume to an employer and it has nothing to do with whatever that person said to you that they had experience in, and they just snowed you. They just made up stuff on their resume, had you build it for them, and then they paid you for it, and then they bring it to their workplace, and the guy's like, "So do you do this?" No. Oh, but you said on your resume, "Do you do this?" No. I just wanted the job. This, and then they come back to you. How come you sent this person? His resume didn't even match up with this guy. He's like a clone or something.
I go through that quite often with my clients as my role as a career consultant, and a lot of folks coming in with exaggerated resumes, and an employer is coming back to me a few days afterwards
Mhm.
saying, this guy doesn't know how to do that. And,
It's so funny.
and so part of my expertise is, hey, let's go back.
Yep.
Let's be real with these resumes in
Hmm.
terms of what you can actually do, and
Yep.
let's broaden the skills as opposed to saying, I'm great. I'm an excellent communicator in communication.
Hmm.
How? How are you a excellent communicator? What's
Yep.
your background? What's your experience in that? Do you like public speaking? Many people don't.
Yep.
And so forth.
No, it's good because I like for myself, my DNA structure, the way I'm built, my communication is horrible. I'm horrible. I think I'm like the worst person on the planet for communication. So what I did is I created a little bit of a report card that said, "Hey, I'm at 0. How do I get to 10?" Well, I think if I hang out with a few people that are 10s, like my wife is a 10, not only is she a 10 in looks, but she's also a 10 in organization. And we also know a gentleman that's both our friends, Chad. I think he's a 10, maybe an 11 in organization. So
Absolutely.
you glean off of these guys and everything that I'm doing in my Beehive marketing podcast channel slash website is how can I be a better communicator so that let's just say I send a calendar link. They find my website, they send a calendar link out. They give me the email, the name, all that stuff. And if I got a dozen email addresses, they're going to be going all over the place, and I'm going to be confused because I have 6 calendars instead of one calendar. And I could miss a schedule or a meeting or whatever and feel horrible saying, I didn't know. Meanwhile, it was the wrong calendar being open. And it's like, oh no, now you're an amateur, right? So, what I try and do now is I try and fail as quick as I can, get all the cobwebs, fix everything, fall, stumble, trip, fall, all this kind of stuff, and get it. Okay, I need one system. Okay, one calendar. That's it. And then let me send reminders to people 8 hours, 6 hours, 2 hours, 30 minutes, 5 minutes, and all of a sudden I look like I'm a genius. I look like I'm brilliant when really I'm not. I'm not that brilliant. I just like using tools to help me look smarter than I am.
That's fantastic. Part of my career coaching method is that where we tackle the problem areas first, and where are the challenges?
Mm-hmm.
Are you are you going in a position where it requires communication and you're not very good at
Uh-huh.
it? But what are your interests? And when we're able to find our interest, for me, it was blogging and talking about how to be brilliant.
Mm.
And after 10, 20 blogs, I'm a much better writer than I was a
Yep.
couple years ago.
Yeah, that's interesting in itself, right there. That process. That's good. I'm not the same person I was 2.5 years ago because of all the business books that I've read. Like I've read a lot.
Absolutely.
And every time now I have a method where I have to try and implement one or two things from each book that I read. That's my goal. Implement these two things, inject it into my business right away. After I'm done reading the book, okay, what's the two things that I could do right now today? Just stop everything. What can I implement? One of those things is because I interviewed this guy yesterday, Bill Kennedy, the 80/20 CEO. I now call myself a CEO of my business, even though it's just me by myself. I'm the chief executive officer. I'm responsible for every decision. I could fire and hire whoever I want, including myself.
That's fantastic. Uh, I liked how you were talking about the application side of things. Many of us can read 100 books a year, uh, if we put in the effort, but actually utilizing the lesson and applying it, that's a different story. I read a book that was introduced by my friend, and it's from James Clear, How to Build how to
Atomic
build
Habits.
the atomic habits, how to
Great
build
book.
good habits and so forth. And even applying it to the basic levels of how do I clean my room
Mm-hmm.
efficiently?
Yep. Or
What's
my
not
office.
working? What needs to be changed in order to meet that goal? And many of us, we think about the goals, but we don't create systems to get there.
Yeah. Yep.
And so uh part of this journey that I'm in now is creating videos.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. And I think being real, like my office might look nice and sexy right now. Like you might be going, "Oh man, this is a cool office, but look at this. Watch this. Look at this. Check this out. See this here? I don't know if you could see that. See that little pile just to my right there below
Yes,
that
I
blue book?
do.
See that pile? That's like 30 books. 30 books that I can't fit on my bookshelf anymore. I need to buy another bookshelf because of maxed out my space. I have a bookshelf here too on this side that's full and books are starting to fall off. And I'm like, oh man, this looks horrible, but at least they're not under my desk anymore. That's where my books used to be because I would pile them up here. And then my wife actually came in. She did that. She organized that. She put a clock in there. She
That's
put a
fantastic.
little trophy. She organized all this stuff, made it all nice and tidy. And I'm like, man, I should just hire her to clean my office because this is organized chaos, man. It's organized chaos. That's crazy, right? But that's part of it is you read a book like Atomic Habits, and for me, it reading has become a habit. Like I read all the time now. Like I could knock off a book like this in 4, maybe 5 hours, done. So I could legitimately read a book a day if I can allocate 4 hours to it, two in the morning, two in the evening, book done. And one of my goals is what if I only extracted 1% from that book? What would that mean to my business? One people will go, well, 1%, Shane, that's nothing. You need to learn at least 60, 70, 80% from that book. Well, what if I took 1% from that book, put it immediately into my business, injected it, and then I read 100 books in a year? What percentage would my business be at for growth? And in terms of expertise, if I read 100 books and I only extracted 1%, that's 100%.
Absolutely.
Just like that. For not doing anything. All I did was just took one thing from the book that I learned and then I tossed it. And I put it right into my podcast, into my website, how I communicate with people, whatever. Like this book here. This is a fantastic book. I'd like to get this guy on my channel. You ever read this one?
The coaching habit says less, ask more, and change the way you lead forever.
Yeah,
No.
it's a beautiful book. It's beautiful. It's my wife's book, actually. But it was highly recommended by the guy that I interviewed yesterday. So
Okay.
before my interview, I read his book twice, and then I read this book before
Okay,
our
I'll have to
interview.
get that book after this then.
Yeah, it's good because you have 7 questions to coach people. It boils it right down. And I'm like, oh, if I just use one of those questions in everyday conversations, the first question is kind of like, what's on your mind? That's it. You just ask that question. And then you let the guy talk. And whatever he talks about, that's what's on his mind. And then after he's done, you ask him anything else, and he'll tell you more about what's on his mind, what's plaguing him, what's ailing him about his website, about his resume, or perhaps his interviews. He's blowing all of his interviews like crazy, and he can't get hired. That's what's on his mind right now because he can't get fed. So if you ask him what's on his mind instead of let me help you because of my expertise, I'm so smart. in the Beehive marketing podcast world, I could fix anything. Why don't you tell me what's bugging you the most? What's keeping you awake without saying, what's keeping you awake at night? Just what's on your mind? That's what I would do to a friend. Hey, bro, you look like you're sweating or whatever. What's going on? What's on your mind? Oh, I'm in debt up to my eyeballs or whatever it is, or my wife left me or whatever else. I got fired. I got laid off from my job, or I'm moving to another country. I got promoted and I'm moving. Thanks for asking. And then now you have a conversation about that. So what's on your mind, Yules?
My mind is going back to that brilliant person, and in order for you to succeed in writing a resume or even going to an interview and feeling good about it is overcoming that, I'm not very smart. Or maybe those are things that your family or friends or even teachers and peers have said about you growing up, and it's sort of ingrained in you. And to recognize it, that's the first step, and then
Mm,
overcoming it and having someone to come alongside you in partnership and say, wow, these are the things that I notice about you that you
mhm,
don't notice about yourself. Are you
mm.
aware of that?
That's good.
And as long it's sort of that collaboration where someone comes in and is like, wow, Shane, like I notice you're you're really good in this area. And it just elevates
Yeah.
your personal life, your learning life, your work life. If you plan to start a business, like that's all about personal branding is sort of like what sets you apart.
Yeah. I like it. And that's how I'm trying to build my business is being authentic, genuine. I even have a model that I use that I created. I invented it. I just haven't patented it yet, but it's called the RARE method, which is basically RAIIR. The first R is reputation. Like right now in my sector as a marketing consultant, if you will, my reputation is at about a zero, really, because not a lot of people, my channel's like a month old. Not a lot of people know me. My friends know a little bit about what I can do and all this kind of stuff in regards to YouTube, perhaps building a website and that kind of stuff, just here and there, right? But in the world, nobody knows me. They don't know I exist. So my job is to build up my reputation as fast as I can. And the next letter is authority. As I'm building my reputation for perhaps bringing authors onto my channel that are marketing experts, business owners that know how to enter businesses and exit businesses, like sell them, mergers and acquisitions, all this kind of stuff, right? Um, Once I bring those people on my channel, now I become a bit of an expert in people's eyes. They go, "Oh, he's got a reputation for this. Oh, he has authority now because he's having a conversation with these guys that are experienced and he can keep up with them at least." Even though I'm a solopreneur, I've never ran a huge organization, but I'm starting to understand a little bit more how they're run because I perhaps one day maybe I want to sell my channel, my website. Maybe I want to sell it 5 years from now. So then the third thing is your integrity. That's kind of in the middle because I believe for myself personally, I feel like I have the highest integrity that I have, and I'm always trying to make it a little bit better. But I feel so confident in my integrity that that carries me over the mistakes that I make as well because I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm just incompetent in something. And then the other one is influence. Do I have the ability to influence somebody to work with me, perhaps to give me their credit card number, give me a check? Do they trust me enough? Like, do I have enough influence over them that they can say, yeah, you know what, we want to go with Shane because he's just real. And then the last thing is resilience. Like, am I resilient as a person? Because my channel, I have like 20 subscribers right now on it. That's all I have. I have maybe 500 views total. that's nothing to sneeze. Like that's, I should say, nothing to sneeze at. It is something to sneeze at. It's laughable right now. You can look at it and go, that's horrible. You only got 20 subscribers. But how did you get these guys that were really successful with no views and no subscribers, Shane? That's, hmm, there's something else kicking around here. What do you know that I don't know because I have a channel that has 4,000 subscribers and I can't get anybody on my channel? What do you know, Shane? Right? So I'm building that up. And that's my little report card that I use every day. I'm like, am I increasing my reputation a little bit more today than I did yesterday? And I just notch it up. I scale it out of from 1 to 5 or 1 to 10, just depending. So say you use 1 to 10. I'm like, okay, my integrity, I feel like is about a 7 or an 8. You can always get better, right? You can always get better. Um, Saying you make more than you do or to the government less than you do, right? Like you're caught in the middle with your integrity, right? Oh, I don't make that much. But with people, oh, I make that much. So it's kind of that I'm trying to get it to where I'm a 10 with my integrity, with that realm. But everything else, my reputation is starting to tip up, you know, 1 or 2 kind of thing, notches each one. And then my resilience, I feel like I'm at like a 7 or an 8, where I'm like, you're not going to push me over. You're just not. You're not going to tell me, oh, that mic is no good. It's obsolete. You don't like my mic? I don't care. Like my mic sounds good. I don't care if my voice doesn't. I like what I'm delivering. And my camera, I don't have the best camera, but my mic is 10 times better than my camera. And if you don't have a good mic, it doesn't matter how good my camera is because you're going to be clicking away going, oh, it's horrible. I can't hear him. I can't hear him. But when he puts a mic in front, oh, wow. All of a sudden, he's like a DJ now. Like it's authority, right? Who cares about my
That's
camera,
that's fantastic.
right? So that's what I'm trying to build every day. I don't care if I fall and trip. Not only do I not care, I'm going to document like people on TikTok where they show people wiping out. I'm going to show you me wiping out with my business. I'm going to show that to you so that you don't have to wipe out. I'll wipe out for you and you'll pay me the money to watch me wipe out so that you don't have to. I'm here for you. I'm here to take the blows. I'm here to take the hits, whatever you got. I'll take the hits, but it's going to cost you down the road because of my expertise of my willingness to go through the fire, to get
That's
tortured.
fantastic. I love how you explain that. And when you're talking about, wow, I only have 20 subscribers, how is that guy able to bring all these people of influence?
Mhm.
And oftentimes younger people who want to get into being an influencer or an entrepreneur,
Yep.
their mindset is a defeatist because they're looking at all these people. Mr. Beast, for example, he's got
Yeah.
millions of subscribers. He's got like
1
dozens of
billion.
dozens of backers. How
Yep.
am I supposed to get there? And
Yep.
I love that. Like, if you're willing to get into the fire and
Yep.
just build it one step at a time,
Yep.
you get better at it.
Yeah.
Uh,
There's no
and
choice there. And it's freeing. I'm so free right now because I don't care what people think. That my goal is 5 years away. It's not today. It's 5 years from now. That's my goal. Ask me the same question 5 years from now. If you're still around, you might not even be around because your business will crumble. It will crumble and fall
mhm, mm,
because you're too critical of what other people are doing and you should be more critical of what you're doing. So I could predict your business is not going to succeed. Why? Because you don't even have a YouTube channel and you're complaining that I have 20 subscribers. That's it. But you don't know what I've done before because you've never asked me. You never asked, have you ever built another YouTube channel that is successful? They've never asked. They look at this one. So I think some of the underpinnings look shallow until you start digging deep and you start looking at my website. Wow, this is kind of weird. Shane has he's asking for a name and an email on every single page. Isn't that a little bit overboard, Shane? Well, not if you know what you're doing. My goal for my whole website is get your name, your email, and your phone number. Why? So that we can have a conversation like this, and maybe I can invite you on my podcast, or maybe I could help you so that you can have people on your channel and get those dream clients. That's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Fantastic. I'd have mentioned this to you before, that it took 2 years and it's still ongoing in building my website.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about how to deliver your message across to the audience.
Yep.
And I got into a point now where I got the right clientele
Mm.
contacting me.
Yep.
Whereas when I first started, I got people who's close to retirement, and I'm like, how can we're not even
You're not
connecting?
working.
What's
Yeah.
going? We're not working. What's going on? And it goes back to
That's awesome.
failing. You
Yep.
can't succeed unless you fail, and it doesn't have to be in the sense that, oh wow, I lost a money. Doesn't
Yep.
have to be monetary that way,
Yep.
like failing
Quickly.
in who you reach, how you deliver your message, and so forth.
Yep.
And
Yep. Yeah. Like my goal right now, the only people that I chase are authors for marketing books, coaching books, all this kind of stuff, authors of that. I chase them down. I hunt them down, but I don't chase my clients. I don't chase them because I'm not here to prove anything to you. You have to put me to the test. How do you do that? Well, you watch my videos, you go visit my website, you leave your name, your email address, and you see how I work. Once you understand how I work and who I am and all this kind of stuff and what I'm doing under the hood, then you make a decision if you want to pay me to work with you, but I'm not going to try and convince you and try and manipulate you. And, well, if you do this and this and this, I could help fix this and all this kind of stuff and whatever. And then I tell you how much I charge and you fall over backwards because it's like 10 grand. And you're like, oh, that's too much money. Well, it's not too much money to someone that has a serious problem where they're like their clients are worth 10, 20, $30,000 to that one person. And he's like, man, if I had 5 clients and they're buying whatever from me, that's worth it to pay you 10 grand or 5 grand to teach me one time to do it. And now we have a relationship for the rest of our lives. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh man, you mean if I have a glitch, I can call you? Yeah. Yeah, because we're doing this together. No problem. But you have to put some skin in the game. And if you're falling over at that, I see people falling over at $100. They're like, "Oh, I can't believe you charge that much." It's like, well, your problem probably isn't at the $100 problem. It's probably $50, maybe a book. If you read a good book, that'll solve your problem. But if you need how to know how to build something, how to build a podcast, how to build a YouTube channel or a website, or you need a resume that can get you in with a nice cover letter versus doing it on your own, man, you'll pay whatever it takes in order to get in front of that business, which is your dream job, your dream career. Nobody's going to tell you, oh, hey, it's too much for that resume. It costs too much money or whatever because they got a job that'll pay them $100,000 a year for the rest of their life, plus stock options, all this kind of stuff, right? Like what are we talking about here? Like it's apples and oranges to people that are like they're cheap and they have problems after problems after problems, and then they're just a big headache for you. They're a big headache, a big pain. And let's just say they got you down instead of 10 grand. They're like, you know what, Shane? I can pay $2,000 today, right now. What do you say? Okay. Thank you. $2,000. Ring, they called me at supper time. Ring, they called me at 9 o'clock. Ring, they call me at Saturday. They're calling me all the time, and I'm like, dude, like you paid for this package, and this is what you get. You get me for 1 day a week. That's all you get, not 7 days a week. That's for my upper echelon clients that get access to my cell phone and they can call me whenever they want, 7 days a week. Why? Because they're paying more money. So I'm treating them like gold. But if you only can afford $27, well, why don't you go to the next company? Get them to help you out. That's kind of how I look at it. Like I don't want to chase anybody down. I'm not trying to be rude or whatever. But then you can focus on the guys, the clients, like let's just say, to use this guy's book, the 80/20 percent, the 80/20 principle.
Okay.
If you have 100 clients and 20 of them bring you 80% of the business, who are you most likely to hang out with more? Those or the 80 clients that are just horrible? They're just like, man, they don't respond. They don't call you back. They don't email you. They don't text you. They're gone. They're absent. They don't show up to their interviews. They lie on their resume. They all kinds of stuff. I don't want you as a client. I don't. I don't have time for you. Sorry. But the guys that are paying for it, they're like, yeah, Yules, I want a resume and I want it to look perfect and professional. Whatever you need me to do, I'm there for you. Like, just let me know. If you want to book a once a week, whatever it is, I'm there to help because I want this resume looking really good and they'll pay you. And all of a sudden, those are your best clients. And it's so easy
Mm-hmm.
going to work now. It's so much fun.
Do you know when you actually provided that piece of advice to me, I gotta say that was something that I had to wrestle over and think about because
Like which
last
part? Like
year
like getting rid of like clients,
getting
you mean, or
rid
what
of
do you
the
mean?
wrong clients
Right,
and
right.
just spending the time with the right clients
Hmm.
and building up my professionalism through blogging, through content. And if they're not willing to read through that and understand how I career coach,
Hmm.
then you're not worth my time.
Yep.
And like you said, it's not the arrogance, but I want to be able to work with the right people in order to have
Yep.
maximum results.
Yep.
So last year, I got to be honest, I had one or two
Yep.
where just we weren't clicking and we weren't so much. I wasn't getting the results that I was hoping that they would achieve. And
Right.
now, fast forward this year, that's not the case. I got
Right.
people who are motivated, who's willing to put in the legwork,
Yep.
uh, who understands how I career coach as opposed to
Yep.
another.
No, that's good. I remember a few years back, I had a friend that he had a gig in Vegas, and his gig was basically teaching people how to book more cars for their auto mechanic shop, how to book
Okay.
more cars. And he wanted me to film him in Vegas. So he hired me to fly down with him and then record all his sessions. So he'd speak in front of 100 guys that own their own stores all across the states and whatever, right? So he hired me to film a 3 day workshop. So every day, 8 hours a day, I'm just filming, right? With the old cameras, not my iPhone, these big cameras, right? And when we were negotiating a rate, because he was my friend, I said, I'm going to give you a deal. I'm just going to cut my rates in half and all this kind of stuff. And he said to me, Shane, I wouldn't consider myself a friend if I did that to you. So charge me what you want, what you feel is reasonable and professional, because I'm hiring a professional to do this job. Can you do this job? Yes, I can. Can you edit it? Yes, I can. Okay. I'm hiring a professional to do this job, so charge me a professional rate. So I did, and then I marked it up a little bit for him, just a little bit more. I padded it a little bit. But that taught me a lesson because just because he was my friend, you don't have to lower your rates. It's easy to do, right? Like it's easy to do unless you have some mutual agreement. There was nothing that he could do for me on the video side of things. Like this was even before YouTube. He couldn't do nothing for that. So I was helping him. But sometimes in this day and age, there's an exchange of services that you could do. Like, hey, uh, I'll build your website for you if you teach me how to speak on a stage or whatever, because I see you on the stage all the time, speaking, public speaking and all this stuff. Let's do that. Let's work on a joint venture together. And it's kind of like that a little bit with this. What we're doing here is I'm building a YouTube channel on my own, on my Beehive marketing podcast and the website and that. But you've also helped critique my website as well. You've helped me out
Yes.
in other things. And now we're trying to build content for our channel to help the audience kind of get a bird's eye view of how we work with each other. And we're friends. We're friends, which is cool. We've been out for coffee with each other and had
Hmm.
conversations about everything. So this is we're trying to help each other to get to that position where we're both successful. And I think that's a beautiful thing at the end of the day.
Absolutely. I agree with you that my business wouldn't have happened without the friends that I have, such as yourself, to challenge me to build the content and so forth.
This is the funny thing about you. I think back then, maybe because I've probably known you, what, 3, 4 years now, maybe 3 years,
4 years.
4 years. I always thought when I first met you, I don't think Yules knows how smart he is, how brilliant he is. You know what I mean? Because he kind of came off as shy at the beginning, and I'm like, this guy's a genius. He's just low key, right? He'll say stuff that shocks me, like this guy is smart. He's not letting us know that he's smart, but I think his cover is up. I think we figured him out. He's actually very intelligent. So you can't fool me anymore, Yules. I know you're brilliant. I know you're brilliant. Don't think you could fool me. I know you're smart. You have
That's
a
fantastic.
disposition you have a disposition about you that is very, oh, tell me more about that, or what do you mean by that? And then it makes people feel like they want to tell you more stuff, but you're learning and you're absorbing and you're remembering every word that they say. You're a good communicator, and I'm learning stuff from you all the time.
That's fantastic. Thanks for that.
It's a good name for
Uh,
your business. I was like, oh, he modeled it after himself. Brilliant person.
and part of that is I love to because I even before career consultant, part of my role is just helping people in the community, helping them in the home, helping them with their goals, and a lot of them face challenges such as myself, where it's like, wow, maybe I'm not smart enough.
Hmm. Yeah,
Maybe that guy from or that teacher or even parents, maybe they're right. Maybe I'm
yeah,
not smart enough to do something like that. And
yeah,
being able to support all these people and fast forward now,
yeah.
being able to identify what are my talents, where am I a genius, and you're
Yep.
right. Part of that is I didn't realize I was an extrovert uh all this time.
Yep. You're an
I've sort
extrovert.
of been closed. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
been
Yep.
closed most of my life.
It's
In my
interesting.
family unit, individual thought wasn't as important as family.
Right.
And if I come across too prideful, well, they're gonna, chisel me down in
Yep.
humility.
Yep. Back to normal. Yeah.
Go back
Yeah.
to normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
No, and
so it took
that's
that time.
yeah. Family's good for that to keep us humble and all that. But yeah, it's an interesting thing where I can remember echoes of my dad saying something when I was young, like, how can you do that? How can you be so stupid? I felt like that was etched on my heart. Like he was
Hmm.
carving the words onto my heart, and I'm like, oh wow. And then if you hear a teacher say that, you're like, oh, you know what? That kind of reaffirms what my dad just said. So I got two people now, two teachers saying this, even though I was trying to be the comedian in the classroom, trying to make everybody laugh all the time. And I got punished for it. I got kicked out of class and I got the strap back when they used to give you beatings all the time with the strap. And I just believed that lie. I believed the lie that, oh, yeah, I think I am dumb. I think I actually am not very smart because I used to just read comics. But for some reason, well, I know what the reason is, but like over time, you have to know who you are as a person. Because if you don't know who
Absolutely.
you are, you're going to get beat down. Like the world will beat you down. And I started enjoying reading as well. Like I love reading business books and all kinds of books, right? So that helps as well because that's how I learn is through books because teachers wouldn't always give me the time of day. They're like, yeah, you're too slow. So I need you to go to the back of the class, or actually, I would actually sit at the front of the class because if I caused trouble, they couldn't see me. So I had to sit in the front row all the time, doing lines. I don't know if you ever had to do lines on the board, but whenever I do lines, I'd have to copy one page of the dictionary. Doesn't sound like a lot, but that's like a 10,000 word essay on the board, writing out each word
Oh
of
boy.
I will not be dumb or I will not talk back. And you just do it 1,000 times on a chalkboard. And I'm like, I'm done. I don't want to write a thing the rest of my life because you made me write on chalkboards every single day. And I hate it. I hate writing. Now,
Mm,
I kind of like writing and reading, but it's because I didn't listen to those words that are etched on your heart. Because if you believe it, you're going to take yourself out of this game. You're going to take yourself out, and then you're not going to be good to your spouse. You're not going to be helpful to your kids. They're going to see you get kicked out and or kicked around in the world, slapped around, and it's embarrassing for the kids. It's embarrassing for your wife if you don't hold yourself high. Like it's tough, right? So you got to start somewhere.
absolutely. And that's part of the battle of finding a career is understanding exactly what you just said.
Yeah. And like some of the young people, I think, who was it? Where did I get this? Could have been on one of my YouTube channels, but somebody said, I'm 16 years old. I don't know what to do, where to go, what kind of a job to get, what should I do as a career path and all this stuff. I'm like, you're asking a complete stranger on a YouTube channel for advice. The only advice that I can give you is to try something new and hard and
Hmm.
get that out of the way as quick as possible. Know what you don't like first before you find a bunch of jobs that you do like and then you're 40 and you go, I wasted my life because this was actually the job that I wanted, not the one that I'm doing. I never tried anything. I think that place of regret at the end of your life is going to haunt you. So if you're young, 16, man, go kicked around. Go get kicked around on a job for a bit. Get slapped around a bit. They're going to slap
Abs
you. Go to a construction site. They're going to slap you around. They just will. It's just, hey, you're late 5 minutes. Ha ha ha. Go get us coffee. You're on the coffee run, whatever. Ha ha. Right? Like they'll slap you around. But man, once you start moving up the food chain, the new guy comes in. It's like you slap him around, right? It's just it's a beautiful thing. It's crazy, right?
Absolutely. I love that. It is a beautiful thing.
So yeah, that's my career advice for him. Yeah, go get slapped around a little bit. So
That's
bad.
beautiful.
That's so
That's
bad.
beautiful. Uh, and a lot of people that I work with find that going to post-secondary school is is the ultimate goal to find work, and that's
Mm,
just not the case.
right. Right.
Not the case at all.
Yeah, because
In
times
fact,
change.
40% of exactly times has changed. Statistics now, 40% aren't even using their college degree. So
Yeah. I
And
wasn't
then 30% can't even find work in their
after.
college degree
Yeah.
after.
Yeah. Yeah. Imagine spending 10 grand or whatever it is per year, and then you come out and you're obsolete now because
Hmm.
ChatGPT has evolved to ChatGPT 6 or 7 or 8 or whatever. That wasn't even on my radar 2 years ago. Like AI. I didn't even give it a second thought. Like it's so new, and now businesses are like struggling, going, I don't know what to do. What should I do? What should I do?
I actually been utilizing AI for my own business and for other people when it comes to career development
Yeah.
strategies.
Yeah, for sure. I
Be
built my
because
I built my whole website around ChatGPT. I just said,
fantastic.
here's what a drone does, here's what a queen bee does, here's what a worker bee does, here's the lifespan of a drone, here's how the beehive is built. And I toss in all these definitions and everything because I studied bees. And my wife's sister's husband owns a beehive. Like they get honey and all this kind of stuff, right?
Okay.
So I've talked to them a little bit. And her cousin owns probably one of the largest beehive businesses in Saskatchewan, which is kind of interesting
Wow.
in itself. So I asked ChatGPT to convert this over to business. Everything that I'm doing, I said it has to evolve around my YouTube channel and my website and my authenticity, my integrity, my influence, everything. And then I'm like,
That's
oh, I like
fantastic.
that. I like that. That's kind of cool. Can you make it a little
Hmm.
bit more like this and less like that? Now I have it all
Just as
built.
you're going through this entire process, it requires our own intelligent mind
Yep.
to navigate through this AI. It's not taking over
Yeah.
businesses, but you're telling it what to do, what to
Yeah.
search, how to correct it.
Yeah. Because if I don't, it's just going to be a cursor blinking on and off,
Hmm.
waiting.
Hmm.
And I'm sorry, but ChatGPT is not that intelligent. 60%
No,
of
it's
the
not at
time,
all.
60% of the time, it's wrong. It's just got way more confidence than you when it's wrong. Like if I'm wrong and I'm like going to say something, I'm like, I hope Yules doesn't catch me saying something because he might call me out on it and say, that's BS, Shane. That's BS what you just said. But ChatGPT doesn't have that what do you call it? Emotional intelligence to be able to be aware that somebody's making fun of it.
Hmm.
ChatGPT has no idea that we're snickering as humans laughing at it, going, I can't believe they just said that. That is so stupid that you're designing a picture and the person has three arms. And it's like, that's not how
Hmm.
humans are.
Hmm.
We have two. How could you be so dumb? A 5-year-old knows that humans have two arms, but you said three, and you were so confident, going, yeah, three arms makes sense to me. Here you go. So if I paid you, you'd be confident in that? Yep, that's how humans are. It has
We
no,
see a lot of that too.
it
I
is.
come like for my resume writing services, I got people coming to me. It's like, hey, I've been trying to find work for this re with this resume I've written for months. And I take a look at it in 10 seconds, not even. And I can tell this is Chat GBT, isn't
Yep,
it?
yep,
It's done through AI. And recruiters can tell in a split second. It's the same. If you
yep.
tell an AI generator to, hey, write me a project management resume,
Boom.
it's gonna pop the same information
Yep,
as 10 other guys who
yep.
says it.
And with confidence, as though it came up with it out of thin air, and you're going to be like, I trust you on this. I'm going to put it into this job. And
Hmm.
it'll never, very rare will it spell a word wrong. Grammatical sentences gone. That's out the window. Like incorrect, I should say. Like sentences that are incorrect. See, I'm struggling with grammatics right now. I don't even know English, right? But that's not the problem of ChatGPT. They're going to spell check everything. But it's a whole paragraph could be nothing about what you asked it to do. Hey, I
Mm-hmm.
want to be a an electrician that installs panels downtown on high rises. No problem. And you send it off without looking at it. Suddenly you have experience as an underwater welder in Afghanistan. And it's like, no, that's not what I asked at all. Now I'm a liar. And I trusted you, right? And it's confident. It'll be like, yeah, done. Resume done in 1 second. Okay, thank you. Hand it in.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of here. You're a liar. Get lost. We don't hire people like that.
And
Crazy.
employers can pick it up
Yep.
instantly.
Yep.
Instantly.
And even in emails too, right? Like, hello, how is your day? That's a typical chat GPT thing to say. So if I'm getting it to write an email for me, I'll be like, lose the chat GPT speak. Lose that right out of the gate. Stop it. Don't say that. Say something else, right? Get right to the
Mm-hmm.
business. Don't be like, how's the weather out there? How are you doing today? No, it's not how we speak in emails. We're like, hey, did you get this? Yeah. Did you get my text? Yeah, I got your text. Okay, thanks. I won't email you anymore. Then they text you, hey, did you get my email? Yeah, I got your email. Thanks. No, I didn't get your email. Do you want me to go check the email? Yeah, could you check the email? Because I'm tired of texting you. Okay. And then you come back and you text them. Yeah, I checked the email. It's there. Thank you. But you didn't put an attachment. Oh, okay. I'll text you. I'll send you a text. No, don't text me the attachment. Send it to my email. Okay, got you. Is that on WhatsApp? Or where do you want me to send it? Oh, Google Drive? No, email. No. Never mind. I'm just gonna come over and I'm gonna go get it. I'll just pick it up from you. Just give it to me. It's like GPT cannot compete in our realm of confusion and chaos.
Love that. That was
That's how
amazing.
my mind works, by the way. You just got a little
Yeah.
sample of that.
Yeah. Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
But that's how we are, right? We're constantly like I have friends that are like, "Hey, did you get my email?" I'm like, "No, because I have a cell phone and you should have texted me." Because we're at the restaurant, we're waiting. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna do the dance. I'm gonna go check my email folder. And it's hanging, 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 hanging. It's like, dude, just text me. Just text me the address. Don't email it. Don't email me. Tucker
Uh,
Carlson does not use emails. Tucker Carlson does not. Zero.
huh.
Zero emails. Instead, he uses this thing, a phone. Because Joe Rogan asked him, he's like, you don't do emails, man? And Tucker's like, no, I don't. I never have. I don't do it. If people need to get a hold of me, they call me. And I'm like, boy, that is freeing. That is freeing right there. The idea that you can actually get away from emails. Wow. And he's very
That's fantastic.
successful and he has his own network. So I think we can learn something from that.
And sometimes it's just going back, simplifying things.
Hmm.
Even when you're building a business, is why are
Yep.
we overcomplicating things?
Hmm. No, it's true. And that's why tools like this, like Zoom, we're doing this right now on Zoom and we'll just record it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll upload it later for my channel. You upload a piece for your channel. And we couldn't do this easily like 10 years ago or so. Like this was difficult. It cost a lot of money. And I have a subscription on my channel because you can go over 40 minutes on Zoom without getting the messages pop up. I hated those things. Just bling, you got 10 minutes. You got 5 minutes. Okay, let's wrap this up real quick, right? If you're on with a potential client and then all of a sudden it pops up, like it's not the end of the world because it shows you that you're authentic as well.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
it's annoying for me. So I'm just like, you know what? I'll just pay the 20 bucks or whatever. And then we can talk as long as we want. Take your time, whatever, right? That's kind of how I do it now. Just get rid of all the little obstacles that can make somebody go, oh, you use Gmail still? Oh, okay. Which is not a bad thing. I use Gmail quite a bit for calendars and all that stuff. But I think it is good to have a professional email as well, right? To show where your company is and all that kind of stuff, right? I think that just adds a little bit of professionalism behind it. So, my 2 cents. So, we got the first question out of the way. What's on your mind? What else is on your mind? That's like 40 minutes for one question. There's still six more questions.
There's six more questions.
Yeah, it's actually funny, right? But yeah, so I don't want to tie up too much of your time. I do have to take
Hmm.
another call. But is
Okay.
there one thing that maybe we can wrap this up with a nice little bow that you would like to say, perhaps to it could be to your audience and my audience, because I think in some ways we're kind of very similar, very similar.
Hmm.
People on my channel or on my website, they want me to help them build their own podcast, and they want it integrated into their website with calendars, all kinds of stuff, so they can focus on their business and not chase people down, right? But for you, so what is kind of a final thought, if you will, on what we
The
talked about
biggest
today?
takeaways, the biggest takeaways out of this session for sure is we don't need to be perfectionist, and just being comfortable in being in the fire,
Yeah,
and recognizing that we're leveling up.
yeah,
There's a lot of gamers out there, so you guys can relate is when you're doing a job,
hmm,
you won't know that you won't like it unless you actually do it. And if you do it and you're enjoying it, you're leveling up,
yeah, yeah,
and that confidence, that skill shows.
yeah,
That another thing is you can read 100 books,
hmm,
but unless you apply it, it means nothing.
yeah,
Uh, as well, blanked out there, but
yeah.
uh,
That happens. See, that's part of being
that
authentic.
happens.
That happens where you just blank out, just
This
go
is not
zero, right?
scripted. This is definitely not
Not
scripted, and
scripted.
that's
Yeah,
part of the challenge is
yeah,
building that skill set to keep on going, even though we blank out. What?
yeah. It's true. You
So
just
now I'm
carry.
learning to actually take deep breaths,
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
and recognize it's okay. Don't need to be frustrated.
yeah, for sure. Like when you think about, if I can carry on, uh, when you read 100 books, it's not good enough just to read the books. Like you gotta apply it to what you're doing right now, right? It's
Hmm.
it's anything, even in your job, use that job as leverage for your next job. Like think about, okay, I may hate it here. I may hate my boss, but my boss could actually be my best ally down the road. So let me just understand how he works, and then I'll add him to my resume later and say, hey, can I use you as a job reference?
Hmm.
Because they're going to ask what you did at your last job. And if you don't put him as a reference, or you don't even mention it in your resume, that, okay, so I see a gap here of like 7 months or a year. What have you been doing? Well, I didn't want to put this job that I was at because I didn't get along with my boss. So I didn't want to put that there because I had a temper tantrum and whatever. Like, I get it, but you should have told me while I'm tweaking your resume. It's almost like you're a counselor now. You're like a lawyer. Tell me everything. Tell me everything before I put this stuff down on your resume. I don't want any surprises, right? Are you a
And that's
criminal?
part of the process too, is going through all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
One thing that sticks out is I did go over your video on is SEO dead?
Mm-hmm.
And going back to what we're talking about is building our knowledge and building a platform even before we start a business.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. No, it's good
And
because
it's not about buying fake subscribers. It's not
yes.
about
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we see a lot of that. Like people who are
Yep.
having 50,000 subscribers,
Yep.
half of that could be fake.
Yep. It
People
is. Yep.
people pay for that.
Yeah. I had a friend that wanted to build a YouTube channel. That was before he knew I was getting into this stuff. And he hired a guy from the States because the guy had over 1 million subscribers. Over 1 million. So he hired him. He paid him like $1,000 or $2,000 or whatever. And I looked at the YouTube channel that the guy was on, and I told my friend, I said, dude, his whole channel's fake. He's like, "What? No way." I'm like, "Yeah, it's fake. Look at the number of views that he has on on every video. They're like 50 or 60. You're telling me that he has 1 million subscribers. I get 50 with 20 subscribers and I get 50 views. So
I noticed that about your videos for sure.
you're telling me 1 million and he's only got 20 views? You're being sucker punched. You just don't know it yet." So I can go buy subscribers tomorrow from the Philippines. I could buy 1 million for probably like $500. And my channel will say 1 million subscribers within the next, I think, 10 days or so. Like they just spill in. Because I've tried it. I've tried it on some of my other channels just for fun. Okay, I'm going to buy this and then I'm going to buy 10,000 views. And then I'm going to buy 100 subscribers or 200 subscribers and then watch. And then I'm not making as many videos. I only have 3 or 4 videos. And this one has 10,000 views and I have 500 subscribers. And that one has 10 views or 4 views. And it's like 2 years old. And I'm still at 400 subscribers or whatever and 10,000 views. Why? YouTube squashes people like that. They squash you if you buy stuff. If you buy views, and if you buy um, subscribers, YouTube has AI, the best on the planet, that uses spiders basically to crawl over your YouTube channel. And when they put your video, like let's just say I'm with Yules and I'm building the best websites on the planet, or the best resumes on the planet, and I put fishing videos on there. How to catch fish or whatever, right? Goldfish, I don't know, whatever. Um, I put that in my video instead, but the title says best resumes on the planet. Somebody will come by, look at the video, and click away in like a second. That's not what they're looking for. They're looking for resumes. YouTube sees that and goes, "Oh, that's not the right audience. My bad.
Hmm.
I'm matching it up with the title." So they'll put it in front of another audience that's looking for resumes. They're clicking away and they're like, "Oh, let's get the spiders crawling through this sucker. What's going on?" Oh, that has nothing to do with resumes. Push it down to the bottom of the ocean and nobody will find your thousands and thousands of subscribers that you bought and your views. They'll never find it. YouTube will squash it. They'll
And I hope
squash
this
it.
is a lesson for everyone who's viewing this, that there's no quick method.
No.
If you're trying to use AI to create blogs,
Yeah.
you're not doing anything. You're simply just posting it.
Yeah.
Google's going to pick that up in an instant,
Yeah.
and they're just going
Exactly.
to put you in the bottom of the list,
Yeah.
and you're not going to be searchable at all.
And we talked about backlinks and all this kind of stuff, how to do it the right way. Like, here's an example. This is an example. This just happened. I was interviewing another guy and he had this guy on his channel. So I'm like, "Oh, this is cool." The guy's name was Dave Jennings, and he was interviewing this guy on his channel, but Dave was coming on my channel as a guest. So I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting that Dave likes this author guy or whatever. I'm going to look him up." So then I looked up this guy, didn't know him from a hole in the ground, read his book, and I invited him to my channel. So then yesterday I interviewed him, and today his one of his colleagues for his company that made $1 billion last year is asking me for the raw files of the video between me and him so that they could promote it on their channel. And his channel has 32,000 subscribers. And his other business brought in $1 billion last year. He didn't charge me to come on my channel. I didn't charge him. It was actually a big favor for him to come on my channel, but it started with me reading this book. And now there's 2 people that are grabbing the video that we did and they're going to promote it across his channel. And he's also working on another book. And he said to me, like I asked him, I said, hey, when you're done that book, it's called, get this, it's called The Art of Making Honey. It's all about making money, right? And he called it that. I said, I want to be the first person on YouTube to review your book when it gets published. And he says, done, done. You'll get
That's
the first
fantastic.
copy,
That's
right?
fantastic.
So it this is organic. This is how you
It's
build it. Now
organic and you're building it up.
he's gonna give me backlinks now, right? Because they're gonna see, even if it's not in the description or anything,
Hmm.
I'm interviewing the guy, and all over my channel is Beehive Marketing Podcast all over the place. You don't think people are going to be watching the interview and go, who's that guy in the blue shirt? Who is he? Let's go check out his channel. That's free publicity that you can't buy. It's crazy, right?
I love that, and just the vulnerability and the confidence to invite these people who seems to like, why would he contact me? He's making $1 billion.
Yeah,
He,
I know.
we're just like lowly people.
Yeah. Yeah, and
But this is a good example right here.
he kept pumping up my tires by saying, "You know what? You and I are a lot like, Shane. I like what you're doing. I like how you're moving with the channel. Good stuff, man. We think a lot alike." And I'm like, this is amazing. I have a peer. Even though I'm not a CEO of a $1 billion company, but we all go through the same experience because we're human. We're all
That's
human.
fantastic. That's fantastic. And correct me if I'm wrong, like you had to shift that lens for yourself to not see these people as competitors, but
Yep.
collaborators,
Yeah.
as you mentioned in your podcast,
Yeah. Yeah.
is the collaboration of other people building
Yeah. And I didn't
the
know
nest.
30 days ago, I didn't know that that world existed. I didn't know that I could ask. I didn't know. I was thinking, honestly, when I first created that channel, I was like, I need about 1,000, maybe 10,000 subscribers before I could reach out to this author.
Mm,
So after I read one chapter, I built the YouTube channel right away. Built it. I didn't even read the whole book. I read one chapter. I'm like, I'm in. This guy's convicting me. I'm in. I got to do something. So I built it. And then I didn't have any views or any subscribers. I made a couple of videos. I'm like, you know what? A little voice inside. Email him. So I looked him up. I emailed him and he reached back, said, change your channel or else. No, he was very kind. He was very kind. In fact, he said, I'm sending you an autographed book. And he sent it to me. Autograph. Is it this one? Yeah. Sent me an autographed book. That was before coming on my channel.
fantastic.
Just for
That's
me
genuine.
reaching
You
out.
can tell right off the bat.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not AI generated.
No. And he did it because he saw the time and energy that I put into my YouTube channel to brag about how good his book was. That's all I was doing. And I wanted to get him. I told him my whole goal is to get you on my channel. That's it. That's the only reason why I built the YouTube channel, to get him on. And I got him on like a week later. And then his friend, and then his friend that had this other guy on. And I'm starting
That's the
to
build.
build out of that. It started from nothing, man. All I had to do was ask. And I think there's a lesson in there that we got to ask people that are there. Ask those
Absolutely.
people. Don't ask the people that are below you that are like, oh, that marketing stuff, crap. You know what I mean? You don't need a website. You don't need a YouTube channel. You don't need a good resume, whatever. Like, it's working for people that are successful and everything. So why can't it be for you as well? All that stuff, right? Like
Hmm.
we have no idea about how much of a matrix we're kind of living in. It feels like it. Like the world is actually smaller than we think it is. It's crazy. Thanks everyone for watching this episode. I hope you got something out of it. I had fun. It's always nice to have a friend on your channel. And I just appreciate you, Yules. So thank you for showing up on my channel. Really appreciate it. Again, go check out his website. It's brilliantperson.ca.
Correct.
Wow, got it right. Got it right. And go check him out. Go check out his YouTube channel. Subscribe to his channel. Like, comment, all that good stuff as well. So thank you for that. And we'll see you guys in another episode. Bye for now.
Thank you, Shane.